everybody. I'm Kris Kendall, host of Fulfilled After 40, the podcast. I'm so happy that you're joining us today. I am here with Heather, and we're going to be talking about her business. So, Heather, thank you for joining today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Excellent. Good, good. All right. So, tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, I started out in the massage and bodywork industry about 16 years ago, and I've had a fantastic practice working one-on-one and in person with people. I've loved it. I don't ever want to quit it. I have so much fun and have met an amazing group. But one of the challenges has been the ability to scale when you're working one-on-one with people. That's just a huge challenge. So I have been working on expanding my education, finding new opportunities that would allow me to work virtually and do more group coaching. So I've started looking at a root cause approach and helping people address the root cause of their health issues, mysterious symptoms they're experiencing, if they have chronic illnesses. How do you get to what's really causing that stuff? And that's what I address with people. So
Okay. So, kind of moving away from the hands-on stuff to more of the diagnosis and then preventative, or what would you
yeah,
say?
exactly. Resolving root cause issues. And it's wonderful because my hands-on body work has been able to inform this new venture that I'm working on. Specifically, I do a lot of lymphatic drainage, and that plays a huge part in helping clear out waste and toxins all the way down to the cellular level. So you do that, you make sure the liver and bile are moving, make sure the colon's moving. But I've specialized in lymphatic work for a long time, so that has really informed what I'm doing now.
Okay, I love lymphatic drainage massage. I've done that several times after surgeries and things like that, and it is wonderful. So that's awesome. Okay, so what would you say is one of the or a couple of the challenges you're facing right now in growing this online segment of your business?
I get very caught up in content creation and I guess that perfectionism. And I keep trying to make it better or keep trying to come up with something new that would be interesting for people. And how do I say this in a different way? How do I do it better? I get so stuck in that I forget to do any marketing.
Okay.
And it's in my one-on-one in-person business, I don't really have to do marketing because I have enough clients and a great reputation around town. So that's all on a referral basis. And I haven't had to work at marketing that really ever. So that does not translate into an online business at all.
Okay, so there's two things there. I want to talk about some of the content, and then I also want to talk about the referrals from in person. Okay, so the content that you're creating, what is it? What are you making?
Well, I'm creating the outline for a group course that it starts out teaching people about root cause issues and then how to start addressing them. So we begin by clearing the body's drainage and detoxification pathways. And then you start diving into that root cause work. Food comes into play. So all the different foods we're putting into our body, we know certain foods that we need to cut out. But then if somebody's chronically ill, you can start refining food choices more, like cutting out groups of foods called histamines or lectins or oxalates. And that, not that that's the root cause of everything, but it could be creating irritation and just like pulling a Band-Aid off a wound over and over again.
Okay, so you're
We do.
building the curriculum,
Yep.
but is there content that you're building that is like marketing content or that you're using to get clients?
I have not done any of that. One of the biggest challenges has been social media. I don't really enjoy doing that. And I also have two kids, and it just makes it hard for my brain to work in that way. I don't break stuff down easily. I love talking to people. So I have been doing more podcasts and getting exposure that way. But social media posts have just been incredibly hard to get done.
Okay, all right, so that's fair. I don't like social media either. It's not something that I do. But um, for an online program that is not locally based, it is going to be a great way for you to really outreach to lots of people. So, um, one thing you could do is hire somebody to do that for you, right? There's a lot of social media experts who will just come up with content for you every day, one piece a day, and they'll post it. Do you have social media accounts for your business?
I do.
Okay, and do you have some following, some small following, or any kind of following?
A very small one, probably
Okay.
less than 200 people on each.
Okay. All right. That's fair. We all start somewhere. Okay. So what if you could, you said you like talking to people. What if you put 1 hour and you just turned on Zoom and you just talked to people as if you were on a podcast, in 30-second or 60-second segments, like, hey, everybody, it's Heather. I'm here I want to talk to you about histamines today. There's certain foods that have a lot of histamines, blah, blah, blah. And you just kind of go, all right, that's it for today. And we'll catch up tomorrow. Like, is that something that you could do and just do that 10 or 15 times about different categories in an hour?
I could probably do that. For some reason, my brain likes to make things complicated, and even just breaking it down into small segments, I know I can do it. But when I sit down, my brain overcomplicates it and I freeze.
Okay.
It's really
So
annoying.
I know, I get it. Okay, what about this? So what I just said about like picking a type of the histamine for, I know that word, I don't know all the other words you said, but so for that, does that make sense? Is that something you could talk about to people? Like, are you suffering from allergies? Do you have this or that or some of the other symptoms? Have you considered cutting out histamines or whatever? And then you just talk for 1 or 2 minutes. Is that something that would make sense to people? Is that even a thing?
Oh, yeah, I could do that.
Okay. So one of the things that I would love for you to do is come up with these. You listed like 4 or 5 of these, right, when you were talking about them. So make a list of those, put 4 or 5 bullet points under each of them, and then sit down in front of your Zoom, just like this, or in front of your camera, your phone, whatever is easiest. Hit play and just talk. Hi, everybody. It's Heather here. And then talk about that thing. Have a watch going in the background so you know when a minute or 2 minutes has passed and be like, okay, that's it. We'll talk more tomorrow. Hit end, and that's it. That's your video. It's done. No editing, no takes, no nothing. It's done, period. How do you feel about that?
Slightly panicked.
Okay. What makes you panic about it?
I have no idea. Probably being on video.
Okay, but I mean, people see you. You're in person all the time. You're doing a lot of podcasts. I'm sure many of these are recorded, right?
Hmm.
So those are probably going out to a lot more people than your current social media following. Now, hopefully that'll start growing, but still a lot more people are seeing them than the simple little video you're going to put together, right? So is that something that you think that you will actually do?
I can do that. Yes.
Okay.
A little
All right.
live or something.
Yeah, if you do it live, then there is no take, right? If you want to make a video or if you want to do several in a row, so that the nice thing about just making it a video is you can start and stop and then start the next one. Hey, it's Heather again, blah blah blah, and then you talk about the next thing, end it, and then you have 5 days worth of content, right? If you do 5 of them in a row, you're going to post one today, you're going to post one tomorrow, and then you've got a little bit, and it only took you 30 minutes to make those 5 videos. Like I said, no editing, just talk. You know what you're talking about. You're an expert in this stuff. So, um, is
One
that
of the
making your
things
heart palpitate?
it sure does. I'll tell you what. One of the things that has been a challenge too, and can kind of derail me from doing the videos is the tech component. I don't know all of those things very well. Like I just learned how to do a Facebook Live the other day when I was supposed to be doing a Facebook Live for somebody else. I didn't know how to do any of this. And like I just learned how to do Zoom a little bit ago. So
Okay.
that tech component has been a huge learning curve.
Yeah. Well, and number one, now you've learned, but also you could do it simple. Like I said, you know how to use your camera on your phone to take a selfie. You hit the video button instead, and you just start talking. And when you're done, you hit the video button again and it stops. I mean, it's that simple. And you have that video. And then from that, you can post it onto your different sites. And you can even like we talked about earlier, you can be vulnerable and say, "Hey, everybody, this may be a mess, and I don't know what I'm doing here, but I made a video. It's my first one ever. Hope it's not terrible," and put it out there. And it's kind of endearing and cute, and people are like, "Oh, well, let's see what she had to say," and they're maybe a little bit more open to checking it out because they're curious, right? Okay,
Very true.
so that's an easy way. Videos, they call them talking heads when it's just like a person in their head and it's just blah blah blah, talking. Okay, so these talking head videos are the cheapest, easiest way to create content because you literally have to do nothing. You turn on your phone, you talk for a minute or two, and you're done. You don't need a fancy script, you don't need a fancy background, you don't need any editing, you don't need people to help you do it. You just like in 30 seconds you have a video, or in 10 minutes you have 3 videos. Like just make it easy. There's not a lot of You don't have to plan it way in advance or anything. So that's the one way to like just get started. Then from that, you can talk about it, or you can, I don't know if your kids are old enough to be doing social media for you. Maybe you could have them do some of this for you, or you can hire somebody who's a social media expert. These aren't necessarily expensive, but there are people out there who will create videos for you, or create content based on snippets of what you just said. They'll take out one segment, a 10-second segment, and then they'll just like overlay it with hashtags and different things like that. So that's one way you can build up a social media presence. But the other thing, you're still doing in person, you still have in-person clients, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So when you are working with a client, do you tell them about your online offerings?
I do to an extent.
Okay, what does that mean?
I just started feeling comfortable sharing about it.
Okay.
So, and feeling like I have my head wrapped around this information and can help them improve their lives. I didn't want to tell them. Some of them have known me for so long, and they would just laugh at me for being shy. But I just wanted to make sure if they wanted help that I was competent enough to do that for the people I care most about.
Okay. All right. So why do you think people would laugh at you?
I have no idea.
And would they do
They
it
would.
like in a loving way or
Of course, in a loving way. I just had one client, I told him what I was doing. He's like, "How come I haven't known about this before?" And he
okay.
gave me a long thing. He's like, "I am the one who supports you the most. Like the people closest to you, we want you. We want to know this. How come we didn't know this sooner?"
Okay. And then with that information, what have you changed?
I sat him and his wife down and told him all about it.
Good. Okay. And then are you telling other people?
Yes.
Okay. So one thing that you might consider is you can, with every single client that you see, say, by the way, I know we've talked about this before, or maybe I haven't mentioned it yet, but I'm also doing an online program, a group program. I'm offering a discount. If you refer anybody to that program, then I will give you 10% off your next session, or something like that. So incentivize your current clients, these people who trust you and love you and support you. Incentivize them to share your information with the people who are not local, that can't come to you in person, but that they know will benefit from working with you. Um, so that they can use their network, so that it's not just your network that's being taxed and your people that are seeing you every single day. You could say, I'm posting these videos now. If you share or if you forward one of my videos, um, you know, I will, yeah, give you some kind of an extra 15 minutes next time, or a discount, or there's whatever you think would be most appealing to your clients, and that still works for you and your business. What do you think about something like that?
I personally think they would do it for nothing. I'm happy to incentivize it, but they've also have been my biggest cheerleaders, and they have referred me so much. That's why my business is what it is today, for that in-person component, because of all of these people, and they happily share.
Okay, well then, perfect. So once you have one or two of these videos on your site, and how long do you think it would take for you to do that? When do you think you can actually sit down and record some of these videos?
Maybe Wednesday,
Wednesday? Okay, right before Thanksgiving.
right before
Okay,
Thanksgiving. Kids in
okay,
school for a half day, so
perfect.
I've got
Okay,
a little bit of alone time.
so plan out a couple, pick just a couple high level categories, a couple bullet points that you want to hit, sit down, start, say 2 minutes worth of stuff and end, and then do that a couple times for each of those, and you're done. Post the first one, and then if it lets you schedule, depending on which platform you're using, sometimes you can schedule posts in advance. So if you can schedule the other two for, maybe not on Thursday, but maybe on Friday and on Saturday, or Friday and Sunday, or something like that, spread them out a little bit and get them going. And then every client that you see in person mention, oh, and by the way, I've started posting some videos. I would love if you could share them, if you happen to see them, if you could share them with your networks, because I'm trying to build my group online program and I'd really appreciate your help. Is that something
You
you?
know, as I think about that and process it, and this is probably a deep-seated thing in me, but it's like I want all of my stuff to be done before I really start approaching that. And that's been a consistent struggle of mine. I want everything to be done and to be ready and to like be able to shut that door, so to speak. It's like, okay, I have this done. Now I can move to the next phase. And that's yeah, a consistent struggle for me, wanting one thing to be finished, knowing it will never be finished. It will always be changing and evolving, and I'll always be adapting to it. So, yes, I know that about me, and I know that's where I get stuck. So I'm like, I'll wait till Wednesday, and then I
Yeah.
have 2 days to finish something.
Yeah, no, I get it. And that is something that's deeply rooted in us, this like feeling that it has to be perfect and it has to be like we only get one chance, and that's it. But the reality is that that's not true, right? You know that you're never going to be finished talking to people, right? I mean, after Friday, Saturday, Sunday comes along, you're not done. There's a lot more to do. So, what do you think is the worst thing that can happen if you just post it dirty? You just kind of put it out in the world,
There's nothing bad that could happen.
right? And what kind of good things could happen?
Growth and new contacts and um, learning on my end as well.
Yeah,
Doing
only good
something new.
things,
Yeah, doing something new that I haven't done, or just getting over that initial fear.
right? Okay, so knowing this about yourself, are you actually going to do a couple of these videos on Wednesday?
I'm in a phase where I'm so sick of doing what I've done that I'm ready to do new things, because I'm so sick of myself doing the same thing over and expecting a different result. That's insanity. So I have gotten, I guess, to the insane point. And I'm like, well, I have to do something different so I'm not nuts.
Yes, so you're ready to do it. Um, and and I can relate to everything you're feeling too. You're not alone in this. I think we all, as entrepreneurs and starting something new and putting ourselves out there, we all have that fear of like, but what if I look dumb? What if I say the wrong thing? What if I should have done it better? What if they look at it once and it's not perfect and they never are willing to talk to me again? Like we all have those fears, but the reality is that's not how the world works. Your people are not going to see one thing that is imperfect and dismiss all the work that they have done with you in the past and all the good things that they know that you bring and all the value that you bring to them, right? They might think it's kind of funny and chuckle if there's a slip up, but they'll like it even more, right? They'll appreciate it even more because it's real.
And frankly, if there's somebody who sees me screw up once and wants to write me off totally, I don't think I want them as a client anyway.
Definitely. Definitely. Okay. All right, good. So
That'll keep your
you
blood pressure up.
exactly. Yes. Yeah. You don't want to be working with those people anyways. It's better to weed them out early. Okay. So you have a plan that you feel comfortable with for getting on social media.
I can do
Okay.
that.
All right. And then And after that first video, don't wait for 2 or 3 or 4 to post. After the first video is up, the very next clients you see, you'll tell them about the video.
I will do that.
Okay. All right. And then what else? Are there other things that you think that you could be doing or should be doing right now to like make an impact in your business?
I think I just need, like I was saying, gotta quit doing the same things that I've been doing and try something new. And that is putting myself out there and doing uncomfortable things and overcoming fears and all of that. That's the only way to grow.
Yes. Yep.
And I'm
Okay.
really good at content creation. So
Yes, but I want you to focus on the right kind of content. The content that you can put out today, like instant content that is not perfect, that is one take, just do it quickly. Or if you're going to build like a worksheet or something, other kind of downloadable thing, give yourself 2 hours and that's it. Whatever's done in 2 hours is it. So that means in the first 30 minutes, you put together something like you just put it all together. You can spend 1 hour perfecting it, but that's it. You're done. And you cannot, have it lingering for weeks or months or years as like, well, it's not quite right. Like give yourself a timeline, get the basics in immediately, spend a little bit time massaging and walk and call it done. Is that something you think you can try?
I can do that. I'm laughing because I have a whole bag and of folders of stuff that I've written for like 8 to 10 years that still has not made it on social media at all. It's a huge bag.
All right. So maybe this is the thing. You're going to pick 3 things and you're going to have 1 hour. And those 3 things are going to be done at the end of the hour. And whatever done looks like is what it's going to look like. And if that means you're putting it out there like, hey, everybody, I want to provide you with this thing. It's not perfect. It's not even finished. I had other things planned, but I want to at least get this out to you. And that's it. You put it out in the world and walk away and it is over. And then you can move to the next thing.
And I'll probably feel great about it once I do it.
Yes.
I was like,
It's
oh, I
like,
did something imperfectly, which I do all
yes.
the time. I do stuff all the time imperfectly. So I don't know why I'm so hung up on that.
Yeah, I yeah, and we put these like expectations on ourselves that don't make any sense, but sometimes you just need permission from somebody else to say it's okay to do it messy and to just do it quickly and to just get it done. And so if that's what you're waiting for, you have my permission to get it out there, ugly, messy, sloppy, whatever it is. It needs to just get out into the world. For your group program that you're working on the curriculum for, how much is done? Is it like the first couple of sessions or
I
what's
probably have 60% of it done.
okay, stop. At that point, you're good. When people start signing up and when you are ready to start, then you have permission to finish the next 20% and then complete the whole program. Don't put any more effort into that until people have signed up, until you have that first session going. Because if you've got 60% done, that means you're good for a little while. And when you have the pressure of people like actually attending and showing up every week or however often, then not only will you be able to complete the rest of it faster, but you'll also have a better idea of what they actually need. I mean, when you build an entire program in advance and then you start it, sometimes you realize after 1 or 2 sessions, you were thinking of one thing and they actually need something totally different and you have to redo it anyways. So
Mhm.
no more effort on that part of it. Work on getting people to sign up and getting your first sessions going. And then after 1 or 2 sessions, build out the rest. How does that feel?
It feels good. Sometimes the unpredictability of kids. I have young ones. My oldest is 3 and my youngest is 5 months. And
Little.
sick days and preschool days are closed and it really throws a wrench in the schedule. And obviously my kids come first. So sometimes I want to make sure that I wouldn't let somebody down on the business end. So I like having more done because life is just unpredictable and kids are very busy and all the wonderful things they bring. They make it really hard to do an online business, but I love them dearly.
Yes, of course, of course. Okay, but if you're at 60, how long is the program? How many sessions or
I'm planning on it over the course of 8 weeks.
okay. So that means you've got a good 4 or 5 weeks at least planned out already. So the chances of something derailing you for that long are pretty slim, knock on wood. It would have to be, pretty significant for you to not be able to jump in for 5 whole weeks, right? So when people start, well, I guess maybe I made an assumption. Do you have people already in the program?
No, not yet.
Okay, good. Not good, but okay. So we're on the same page then. So when people are joining and when people are at week 1 or week 2, that's when you can start thinking about week 6 and week 7 and week 8, right? So don't worry about finishing it now. You have 5 or 6 weeks, let's say you have 5 weeks already planned. That's more than enough time. As people join, then when they're in week 1 and week 2, then you can be building out that next week. You're only going to need, and if you're under pressure because the kids are sick that week or you've got something going on or things are just a little bit hectic, um, then the good thing about that is that means you're going to have a shorter window of time to get it done. That means you won't allow yourself an entire week to think about it. You're going to give yourself 2 hours and you're going to figure it out in 2 hours. And you're going to hand your kids over to your husband and say, don't bother me for the next 2 hours, and you're going to get the rest of it figured out quickly, and then you're done. But don't worry about that now. Now you want to get people in. You want to work on the content that is going to get you in front of people so that they start learning about your program and then signing up. Then you can finish it off. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Okay, excellent. All right. So I feel like we've got a good plan. I think that you've got some really awesome information. And if you just break it up into small pieces, people will love hearing from you every day. And you just sit right where you're at, turn on your phone, hold it in your hand, be out on a walk, anything you want. This is not high production value. People don't need everything perfect. Just start talking and set a timer because you don't want to go for like an hour on a topic just because you like it. Keep them short. Pick one thing, talk about it for 1 minute, 2 minutes, whatever, and then sign off. And then start the next one if you want to do several in a row. But this is easy, consumable content that people love. And if you do it for under 3 minutes, you can put them on TikTok, which is going to be a great resource for you. And just get started. Okay, do you feel like you're ready to make some changes and do some things differently?
Well, absolutely. As I reflect on our conversation, I'm like, man, I spent a lot of that making excuses.
That's okay. That's okay. You've got some really good stuff in there. So I think you're gonna find this a lot easier. Once you start, you're gonna have like 20 videos before you know it. So I think that this is really gonna be a great tool for you to use. Okay, all right, Heather. Well, it's been such a pleasure having you on today. I'm really excited to learn more about your business. I want to hear more about these histamines and all the other things that are creating blocks in me and creating some of these things that I don't even know I have probably, but that could be beneficial with some of your knowledge. So thank you for joining, and I look forward to hearing more from you maybe on a future show.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me. That was fun.
All right. Well, that was another great episode. It was really fun to have Heather on and learn more about her business. I can completely relate to her not wanting to be on social media. It's not my favorite place to be either. And it's not, I do it for companies that hire me to do it for them. I hate doing it for myself. So I can appreciate her hesitation, but she's got some really good information. And I know that once she just starts, she's not going to be able to shut up. So I'm really excited to see where that goes and how that helps her in her business. So, if you would like to work with me, you can get a one-on-one package at fulfilledafter40.com. Or if you'd like to be a guest on the show and do a public coaching session, there's an opportunity to fill out a form. It's under the button at the top that says the podcast. You can request a session. And if you are interested in working with me one-on-one, I do still have a few openings for the intensive in Q1 of Yeah, next quarter. So that is at fulfilledafter40.com/intensive. And I have a discount rate for people who hear about it from the show. So make sure you use that link. And until we talk next time, I hope you have a great week and happy holidays.